Well, we knew heading into the Super Bowl that we were going to hear about Steve Spagnuolo, we were going to hear about the Eagles' rushing attack, we were going to hear about Taylor Swift, etc. We knew going into last season that we were going to hear about the wide receiver core, we were going to hear about Patrick Mahomes and the three-peat, we were going to hear about late-stage Travis Kelce. Going into the offseason, we know we're going to hear a lot about the offensive tackle here in Kansas City, the left tackle in particular, though really, either way. Well, we have an article that suggests a few fixes for that issue on Arrowhead Pride. In an article, sorry about that, titled How the Chiefs Can Fix Their Left Tackle Problems in 2025, subtitled Kansas City Struggled at Left Tackle Throughout the 2024 Season from Arrowhead Pride by Rocky Magana, we get the following. By far, left tackle was the Kansas City Chiefs' biggest weakness in 2024. As we near the start of the new league year, there will be a hot debate over the team's options at this important position. Let's dive into what the Chiefs could do. One of these suggested, so I'm not going to usurp the value of the article. I think if you are interested in this topic, you should absolutely go check it out. But there are a couple of issues that I have with said article. There are all of the usual suspects listed from inside the Chiefs organization, and maybe even a few left out that could have been talked about. And there is a draft option available for the Kansas City Chiefs, according to the article. And then there is a free agent option and a trade target option. Unfortunately for the article, and look, not everybody's perfect. You can't know everything, right? Nobody's perfect. You can't know everything. Not everybody's perfect, I said. But the intended trade target for the Kansas City Chiefs, at least as far as everything I can find, is himself a free agent. And we'll get to it when we get to it. But so we have two free agent listings here. One provided by the author himself as a free agent bargain barrel option. The Chiefs currently have $4.3 million in cap space, so they are unlikely to be big players in free agency, but that doesn't mean they couldn't take a swing at a bargain hoping to strike gold. The player mentioned there is Jalen Moore. Now, I will take a little bit of umbrage with this. It is obvious that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to do something with the cap space. I throw up my hands because it's invisible to us at this point. We don't know. But one thing we do know is that Brett Veach does not move in half measures. Brett Veach we've seen in Kansas City, we've oftentimes been on the outside looking in at aggressive general managers, guys who tend to get themselves into trouble with the cap preseason after preseason, but never actually fall into trouble with the cap. We know that those tricks, those tips and tricks exist with the NFL salary cap, and we finally have a general manager and a front office in general that seem to be doing a good job not only at managing the cap, but in seasons where they sell out in order to get to the Super Bowl, there are options on the table to reclaim some salary cap positioning that should allow for a few free agent acquisitions. One of the ones suggested by the article, Jalen Moore, one player who could be a free agent lottery ticket, is the former San Francisco 49ers left tackle. Pros, Moore allowed 1 sack and 2 QB hits in his 158 pass reps last season. In the 5 games, maybe you've already seen an issue here. In the 5 games he started, he posted a PFF pass blocking grade of 75 or more in 4 of them. He is still just 27 years old. Cons, as with Humphreys and Suamataia, his sample size is limited. He is still a question mark. Bottom line, if the Chiefs go this way, they would still need to draft another player with the idea of letting everyone compete for the job, which is not exactly finding a solution. I agree. Look, One thing that we've seen Brett Veach do oftentimes, we've seen him do it time and again, is sign a mid-level free agent and pair that with a rookie. He's done it countless times at countless positions. The issue this season is the Kansas City Chiefs, at least as far as I can tell, will be looking at a full rebuild going into next season. I don't see any other way for it to happen. And if you're going to put your rebuild on juice, you can't afford the double down strategy. You have to find an actual answer. With every draft pick, you only have 6, and with every free agent you sign, because you don't have the salary cap to add very many. So, if we're going to assume that a guy like Jalen Moore could be an option for the Kansas City Chiefs, let's look at what that would mean. Jalen Moore is 6'4" and 1/8 inches, 311 pounds. This was coming out of college. A lot of times, offensive tackles add a few pounds from there. I don't know exactly where he's at right now. 33 3/8 inch arm, so you get the 33-inch arm check mark. 10 3/4 inch hands, that's a good number. 5'2", 540 with a 1.82 10-yard split. Not great numbers there. Again, offensive tackle, how much does it matter? You have to figure that out for yourselves. A 30.5 inch vertical, that's a pretty good number. 8 foot 10 inch broad jump, about average. 27 reps on the bench press with those 33.5 inch arms, basically. Those pretty good numbers. Look at his production here. As a rookie in 2021, he played 145 snaps and 12 snaps of special teams. As a sophomore campaign in the NFL, he put up 185 snaps with 85 special team snaps. In 2023, 226 offensive snaps. I can't talk today for some reason. With 81 special teams. What happened in that 2023 season for San Francisco? Something strange. 2024, last season, 271 snaps, 69 special team snaps. He has a grand total of right around 1,070 snaps, but 827 offensive and 247 special teams. Not a lot of experience through his rookie contract. Here's Kingsley Suamataia, 6'4" and 5/8", so he is a little bit taller, 326 pounds, so he's about 15 pounds heavier. 34.25 inch arms. 34.25, that's about an inch longer, 3/4 of an inch longer. 10 5/8 inch hands. Very big hands. A little bit bigger than Moore's. Remember this 5.25 and 1.82 split. 5.04, 1.74. Much better numbers for Kingsley. Now, he gets beat. Kingsley gets beat in the vertical leap, 28 inches versus that 30.5, but an 8 foot 10 inch broad jump and 27 reps on the bench press compared to a 9 foot 2 inch broad jump, a better number for Kingsley, and 31 reps, 4 better reps for Kingsley. But we talked about pass blocking, and we talked about the experience that Jalen Moore has. 145 reps as a rookie, 827 reps total. Well, Kingsley already put up 195 reps in his rookie season. He put up 50 more reps in his rookie year than did Jalen Moore. Now, would I be opposed to Jalen Moore signing with the Kansas City Chiefs, assuming that the money is good for the Chiefs? No, absolutely not. Look, with the offensive line performance that we saw in the Super Bowl, all hands on deck, and if you can find a couple guys floating in the ocean, you pluck them out and you put their hands on the deck too. That is absolutely fine with me. But the Kansas City Chiefs, though they're losing Trey Smith, though I think they'll lose Mike Caliendo, they still have 8 names on the roster that they had last year. I don't believe there's any other free agents out of that list. So this leads us to the guy that the article itself had listed as a trade target. That is Alaric Jackson from the Los Angeles Rams, ranked by PFF as the number 4 free agent offensive tackle, the number 46 free agent overall, saying the former undrafted free agent out of Iowa has settled in quite nicely over the past few years, protecting the blind side of Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford with a career year across the board in 2024, coming in at just the right time. This is the number to look at here. 74.7 pass blocking grade, true pass and set blocking grade at 67.4. I do not know what the numbers were for anybody that even thought about playing left tackle over the Kansas City Chiefs last season, but I'm willing to bet those numbers are better. Alaric Jackson, who is Alaric Jackson? Well, this is probably right around the top of the heap for what the Kansas City Chiefs could rearrange their salary cap situation in order to afford. And even this might be a little bit of a stretch. Alaric Jackson probably going to command quite a bit of money, probably going to command a salary cap number maybe north of where Jawaan Taylor is. So can the Chiefs free up that much money to spend on just one player? I'm not sure, but 6'5.5", very tall, 321 pounds listed as a draft prospect. I believe he is often listed in the 340s. Now, 33 7/8 inch arms, definitely a pass there. 9 1/4 inch hands, a little bit small for his size. 5.440 with a 187 split. The worst numbers out of any of these three, but hey, if you're that big of a fella, maybe you get a pass on the running. A 25 inch vertical, not a good number. An 8'7" inch broad jump, not a good number. And 20 reps on the bench press, not good numbers. But if you're signing Alaric Jackson, you're not signing the athlete, you're signing the offensive tackle. The Kansas City Chiefs have started to accrue a really interesting blend of athlete versus tools versus experience. You have Creed Humphrey, who has as much experience as you need to know that he's an all-pro type center. You have Joe Thuney, who has all the experience in the world and has appeared in around 73 different Super Bowls. You have Jawaan Taylor, who is an athletic offensive tackle with an interesting amount of experience, but he's sort of starting to come up hollow on the payoff. Though, look, I mean, guys can turn it around all the time. And then you have their backups there. You have Kingsley Suamataia, who has all the tools in the world, who has all of the athleticism that he needs. I think it's just the experience that's lacking. You have Wanya Morris, who, in my opinion, is the next guy up to replace Trey Smith at the offensive guard position. I think then you have Hunter Nourzad, who will be kind of groomed into that left guard spot or the center spot. Creed Humphrey signed an extension, but not a super long extension. Then you have a guy who is just pure potential in CJ Hansen, who I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000 more every time I talk about CJ Hansen. I think he has the upside to play offensive tackle, and I think he will get the opportunity this year. There's a lot of names at the offensive line positions, and all of them bring something. So at this point, I don't know if I really get adding just another name, right? But Alaric Jackson, I think, would come in and absolutely be a starter for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not making that argument. Jalen Moore, I don't know that he would. And if I don't know that he would, are you just collecting guys? Like, one of the things that has been confounding about the Chiefs' offensive line to date is that they're just collecting right tackles. Kingsley Suamataia, I think he has the athleticism to play left tackle. He certainly has the tools to play left tackle. When he's on the field, I don't know that I see it in him. Wanya Morris, again, has played some left tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know that I see him being a left tackle in the NFL. Jawaan Taylor has maybe the most athleticism on the field of those three. They don't seem to want to put him at left tackle at all. They seem to have no interest in moving Jawaan Taylor over to the left side. So the left tackle position really is going to be something of it's going to be a big question mark. Is it going to be a thorn in the side of the Kansas City Chiefs? I can't tell. But I know that I wouldn't bet against it at this point. Anyway, this is just a few of the answers available at the left tackle position for the Kansas City Chiefs. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on the channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.